What if anger isn't your enemy, but your greatest teacher? When the world feels unfair and your blood is boiling, it's easy to feel lost or overwhelmed. But managing that fury isn't about suppressing it, it's about transforming it. These 5 books don't just soothe anger. They give you tools to channel it into clarity, resilience, and meaning. Whether you're furious at injustice, failure, or life itself, these reads provide a roadmap from rage to strength. First up is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. This isn't just a diary of a Roman emperor. It's a masterclass in controlling your emotions through Stoic philosophy. Marcus wrote these personal reflections during a turbulent time for the Roman Empire, yet they transcend history to offer timeless wisdom for modern struggles with anger. The core idea? You can't control what happens, only how you respond. Marcus teaches us to see anger as a distraction from reason, an irrational force that blinds you from clear thinking. One practical insight: when facing frustration, ask yourself, is this within my control? If not, release it. This simple question can immediately diffuse a surge of rage by redirecting your focus away from external annoyances to your internal responses. Another key lesson is to remind yourself that everyone acts according to their nature, even those who provoke us. Understanding that others' harmful actions stem from their own imperfections can foster empathy instead of fury. Marcus's mental model, viewing life events from a cosmic perspective, shrinks anger to insignificance. Imagine your anger as a tiny thing in the vast universe. This metaphor invites a profound shift in perspective, helping you recognize the fleeting nature of your emotional storms. This cosmic lens helps break the cycle of reactive rage and brings calm, grounding your spirit amid chaos. Now from Stoicism, we move to a modern voice on acceptance. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F***ck by Mark Manson. Mark flips self-help on its head, arguing that trying to be positive all the time just buries real problems and perpetuates denial. His thesis is simple yet radical. You only have so many fucks to give, so choose what's truly worth your energy. This means being brutally honest about what deserves your emotional investment, especially when furious. Instead of suppressing anger, recognize what's legitimately worth your fight and what's just noise distracting you from your values. One actionable tip is embracing your limitations. Accept what you can't change and stop obsessing over superficial positives that don't align with your deeper truth. This acceptance doesn't breed passivity, but rather frees up energy for what really matters. Another vital point is identifying your core values. Anger targeting what clashes with your true values can become meaningful, focused energy rather than wasted rage. Mark's blunt mental model is the feedback loop from hell, getting mad about being mad, which traps many in self-destructive cycles. Recognizing this loop and intentionally breaking it, for instance by shifting to curiosity or humor, can liberate you from spiraling anger. This approach changes anger from a destructive force into a compass pointing toward what you deeply care about. Next, we pivot back to Stoicism, but this time with a tactical lens in The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Ryan's book teaches that obstacles aren't just problems, they're hidden opportunities in disguise, a perspective deeply rooted in Stoic thought. The core thesis: every obstacle can be turned into advantage using perception, action, and willpower. First, reframe your frustration. Instead of the defeated "why me?" challenge yourself with "how can I use this?" This mental switch energizes you to seek constructive solutions rather than stew in bitterness. Then act decisively. Often the smallest concrete step breaks the paralysis caused by anger. For example, if someone wrongs you, instead of ruminating on the injustice, take a proactive step like setting boundaries or communicating your feelings constructively. Lastly, cultivate endurance, the will to persist through hardship without letting bitterness consume you. Endurance is the quiet strength to keep moving forward, which transforms anger into steady determination. A classic example from the book is how John D. Rockefeller used setbacks and criticism as fuel to build one of the world's biggest fortunes. Rather than succumbing to rage, Rockefeller's persistence and reframing of challenges propelled him forward. This story powerfully illustrates how shifting anger from a burden into strategic power changes the trajectory of life. Staying on the theme of inner battles, we go deeper with Ryan Holiday's Ego is the Enemy. Here, Holiday argues that ego, our inflated sense of self, is often the root cause of destructive anger. When ego takes center stage, it distorts reality, amplifies slights, and escalates conflicts unnecessarily. The book's core message is clear. Suppress your ego to avoid self-sabotage and toxic rage. Key insights include practicing humility, focusing on the work instead of recognition, and staying a lifelong student. For example, Holiday points to Howard Hughes, whose massive ego ultimately destroyed not only his career but also his personal relationships and legacy. The mental model here is ego as a lens that distorts truth and fuels resentment. Recognizing this can help you detach from the emotional heat of anger. When furious, step back and ask, is my ego driving this? That question alone can cool your temper by shifting attention away from wounded pride toward objective assessment. The book suggests practical exercises like journaling with honest reflection or seeking feedback to keep ego in check. These habits enable you to reclaim control over your emotions and foster a mindset of growth rather than defeat. Finally, we reach a profound conclusion with Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. Frankl's harrowing experience as a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist leads to a powerful thesis. Even in the worst suffering, we can find purpose. Anger at life's injustices is natural, but Frankl teaches that meaning is what transforms suffering into strength. His philosophy revolves around the idea that while we cannot always control our circumstances, we have the freedom to choose our attitude toward them. This choice is the ultimate source of personal resilience. One actionable concept is the ability to choose your attitude no matter the circumstances. This empowers you to respond to anger not with despair, but with resolve. Another is identifying your why, a purpose so compelling that it transcends pain and fury, giving you a reason to endure. Frankl's story of finding hope amid dehumanizing conditions, such as holding on to the image of a loved one or a future goal, is the ultimate example of mastering rage by embracing meaning. This approach teaches that anger need not consume you, but can be channeled into determination to find or create meaning even in darkness. When you're furious at the world, these books don't just calm the fire. They guide it into a forge that shapes a stronger, wiser you.